Hi, this is Bob Poole. Welcome to the Water Cooler Hangout. For over 40 years, I've been helping people like you grow and prosper. Please join me and my guest as we share real-life stories about sales, marketing, creativity, and leadership. Need help in moving to the next level? Find out how others have done it by listening to the Water Cooler Hangout. Hi everyone, Bob Poole here today with Gina Pomponi, who is the president and COO at Bluewater Media. Hi Gina, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I am good. And here's an interesting story. You are originally from Philadelphia, right?
I am. Yep. First 46 years of my life.
And now you're in Florida.
Came down here November of 2015 to join Bluewater Media.
Okay, and we're going to talk about this, but the interesting thing is, just ironically, yesterday I was speaking and interviewing a young woman who is also from Philadelphia and now lives in Utah.
Oh, wow. I chose to move to the sunshine.
Well, she lives in Park City. She chose to live where skiing and the mountains are. So.
Oh, Park City is beautiful.
Yeah, it is. So tell me about Bluewater Media. What do you guys do?
Yeah, so Bluewater Media is a fully converged direct-to-consumer advertising agency. We have all services under one roof. So we've got full television production. We have a digital content team to handle all your digital content needs, a full media team, both television and digital, as well as a team of folks that work with our clients on their Amazon marketplace needs.
Yeah.
Not just Amazon, really all their marketplace needs. Walmart, as you know, that's a really big thing now. And then folks that help with retail and home shopping. So really, 36,000 square foot facility in Clearwater, Florida, with all of these different capabilities and services. And a lot of our clients use all of the services. And then we have other clients that come in and, come in for creative and then maybe move into media after, they love us. So, or they come in for media and then they'll move to creative. So we're able to work with the client on whatever their challenge is and, provide a solution because we have all of these services.
Fantastic. Well, I was reading about Bluewater, and one of the first things it said was it called you a direct marketing agency.
Yep.
So some of the people that are listening today, they're going to be asking themselves, what is direct marketing exactly?
Wow, direct marketing. So it's engaging directly with your consumer.
Right.
And we are trying to elicit some sort of response, right? So the advertisements that we put out, and it's really a multi-screen world we live on, so I can't say television anymore, right? It's TV, it's radio, it's digital, it's TikTok, it's Facebook, it's whatever we are where the consumers are. But it's communicating and engaging your consumer directly. Very much so with a commercial that's going to, or an advertisement that's going to grab their attention and then tout the features and benefits of whatever that product or service is, and then provide the consumer or viewer with some type of vehicle to connect with us.
To respond.
Whether that is call us an 800 number, go online, sometimes even go to a retail store.
Right.
And I think what is direct marketing? It's funny that you asked that question because 10 years ago, so many folks really, really wouldn't know what that was, right?
Yeah.
But now it's different. People are kind of jumping onto that bandwagon because they're realizing brick and mortar is starting to be a thing of the past, especially because of COVID. I did an article on Black Friday, how the advertisements, the TV commercials changed, and everybody was, had their URL on the spot, or they were offering curbside pickup or a virtual consultant or some way to engage with the consumer instead of just putting a TV ad out that was like, hi, we're, so-and-so. So really, really changing.
Yeah. I guess Black Friday really changed this year.
Oh gosh, yeah.
The numbers had to be totally down from previous years.
You know what? I think it was more spread out, wasn't it?
Shifted, yeah.
Yeah, because folks are buying on Amazon and they're buying online and they're not waiting until those deals. And so many stores had deals for the entire month of November. Some started in October.
Yeah.
So they weren't holding those, really, really great sales for that day or that weekend. It's morphed into something completely different.
Yeah, when I started doing this kind of stuff, direct marketing for me was, sending out direct mail.
Yeah, direct mail pieces. Yeah, that's making a resurgence.
I think it is too. I told someone recently, because again, you can reach out, you can get a response, and people are home. I think they probably like getting mail. It's not a bad thing.
Well, then email took off, right?
Yeah.
So then now your email box is a mess, right? You have thousands of emails from anybody, any website you're on, anything, but your mailbox is a little on the empty side. So that's why I think direct mail is going to start to come to be, and no one's really stopped using it, but it's going to start to be a larger piece of the overall marketing mix.
Yeah, the whole lumpy mail kind of thing,
Yeah.
The best
Don't
lumpy.
call it junk mail. Don't call it junk mail.
No, lumpy mail. Got something in there. The best one I ever saw was we actually used it for a while with 3M with them, and what it was. This was a great company. I think someone's going to do this again. So I'll tell you. Okay, it was a company up in Wisconsin that would mail out to whoever you wanted a giant box of popcorn. It looked like a theater box, a red and white box. It was 4 foot high. It was 4 foot high. And it was like, 3 foot wide. I forget how many gallons. And the popcorn was really good. It was in a giant plastic bag. But they would insert your message, whatever. They would actually, you sent them whatever messages or letters or whatever it is you wanted to put in there. And they would put it in on top of this the box, seal it up, and deliver it to the client. And the letter or whatever was in there usually was, I'm sending you this, and I hope I'm going to bring movie tickets when I give you a call or something.
Yeah.
The thing was, you would make that call into the place, and you'd wait about a week, something like that, and all you had to say was, "Hey, I was the person that sent you the popcorn." And be like, "Oh wow, everyone here, that was the funniest thing. We still have the box, and it would be like, "Yeah, could I see your CEO? Could we have a little? Yeah, sure, come on."
Yeah. We sent Louisville Sluggers out one time. I mean, years and years ago, with a note saying, "We'll hit it out of the park for you," or something. But it's a great idea. It's a way to, because people are inundated with emails and something that stands out.
Yeah. No, I know. I have a guy last week that put a spam complaint in on the email that I sent him. Anyways, he's a friend and he asked for it, but it wasn't him. It was someone in his office. But the answer looks at his email and they didn't know that he asked for it. So I was like, "Hey, gee, I didn't realize." So he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But that's what happens is we're inundated with emails, and people don't want to see them. So, how long you've been doing this for? How long? 30 years?
30 years. Yeah, 30 years.
And how'd you get
a lot.
How'd you get your start?
How did I get my start? Well, as you know, I was maybe you don't know, I was a single parent, and I was 20 years old, and I needed a job, and I didn't know what I was going to do, but I needed to make sure I could keep a roof over that little girl's head. So I got a job. First started off with answering phones and helping out in the office of a direct marketing agency. And very quickly, as they would all tell you, I was a pain in the you-know-what, because I wanted to know what you were doing, because I could help and I could do that better. And slowly but surely moved up, and I think I was media director inside of 4 or 5 years. But just sheer kind of roll my sleeves up and willpower. So it just was the luck of a draw. I think I found the ad in a newspaper. So it's actually the only thing I've ever done. My entire life has been focused on and dedicated to direct marketing.
And here you are now.
Kind of crazy.
The president and COO of.
So that same company I was with for 20 years. I was their vice president of media, focusing on direct response television. Then myself and the two primary principals of that company went on to start the television division for a large agency. We're there for 5 years. And then in November of 2015, came down and joined Bluewater Media as a partner to develop their television media division, which turned into then developing their digital media division, which then turned into helping with web, and then just on and on. And here we are. As president and COO. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been different, and a lot of changes to see how, even television alone, how much that's changed. When I started, we were buying local broadcast stations, little stations across the country.
Right.
You'd have a big national campaign and it would have 400 local broadcast stations on it and 4 cables.
Mm-hmm.
And now, gosh, now you've got your PPC, you've got social, it's not just television. And when you talk about television, you're buying Hulu and Gamut and all these OTT options and all the unwired D2s and D3s. So it's changed significantly.
Just keeping track of that is mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is.
It is. So you guys also are doing things like Facebook advertising. You're buying stuff there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We do programmatic, YouTube. Gosh, you advertise use Instacart.
Yeah.
You can advertise everywhere. I remember I don't know. I always get confused with years. Maybe it was 15, 20 years ago when transit started to get really big and everything on the trains. And then they were putting the cameras in the cabs and on the gas station pumps. And I was like, oh my God, outdoor part of transit, it's going to become huge, but it never really exploded the way I thought it would because in came social.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what do you think social with, let's talk, I want to get to social, which I guess we can call it also interactive marketing, right? Would you call that?
Yeah. I mean, I call it all interactive marketing, right?
So someone coined that term, interactive marketing. And I was like, what does that mean? Does that mean what we've always done?
And you know what? I think it does, because people ask me that all the time. And I'm like, well, interactive marketing is what we've always done, is what I built a career on.
Yeah.
Engaging directly with your consumers. But I think as traditional advertisers get into our space, they think that they are creating something new. And once again, it's something that we've always done.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's where it came.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, it's kind of one-to-one interactive, response. It's like having a conversation with someone. Is how you want it to work. The thing that's kind of interesting is, Mark Schaefer. Are you familiar with Mark? He had a book. He has a new one out right now, but his book called Marketing Rebellion. He talks about the fact that the customers are in control today. That they are the marketing department.
Yep.
So you would agree with that?
True.
His thing is
true.
His favorite saying, I think, is one of them anyways, is that the most human company wins.
Yeah, it's very true. It's definitely shifted. It's a consumer's world, and now. We keep talking about COVID. COVID pushed everything forward. Everybody is buying online. My mother gets her groceries online and buys stuff from Amazon and every day. And I just wonder, you see all of these every day. You hear about another store chain closing or filing, bankruptcy, or, it's just changing. People want immediate gratification. I mean, back in the day, we'd put a TV commercial or an ad out or something, get this product, and we'll get it to you in 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And that was acceptable.
Yeah.
Now it's like they expect to order something and get it, immediately. If it's not to them inside of a week, they're calling you, where's my product?
Yeah. I mean, and in this area here, I mean, people expect things in one day. I mean, it's we've got, Amazon warehouses down the street and I have pets, so I buy stuff online from Chewy.
Oh yeah, we do too.
And I don't know how they do it. I will order something from Chewy and it's here the next day. They have their own trucks, their own people and that, so it literally just shows up. We had something came yesterday for some cats of ours, that some kind of new bowls that we ordered on Sunday, or no, it must have been on Sunday. We ordered them Sunday and they came yesterday. So
well, that's why everybody was so upset around the holidays last year, because of all the issues because of COVID. What was Amazon calling it, like Shipageddon, because they couldn't get, if you ordered something Prime and it wasn't there the next day, I can't even imagine the number of customer service calls they would have gotten. It was the first time ever that I had not received a package, or I got the wrong thing, or it never, I never had any issues with Amazon except for that time. So
what kind of changes did you have to pivot to or put in play due to COVID?
well, a lot of, company wide, we had to bring our teams home.
Yeah.
So that was a significant change. I mean, the lucky thing was we have strong process and operations. So we were able to move over quickly. We, implemented Microsoft Teams so that they could easily communicate with one another and call each other in video and also chat easily. Our production team, as you know, we do creative production, and you can't do that from home. So
Right.
those folks went in except for maybe 2 weeks. But there was a lot of things that we had to implement in our studios. They have to wear masks and gloves, and there can only be a certain amount of people on set and that type of thing. It's funny, I was watching something on Hulu last night, and I was noticing so many of the commercials out now are animation, or you can tell they were done in all in post-production, or UCG, user generated content. And I guess that was spawned on from COVID, because a lot of production shops weren't shooting.
Right.
So all of that changed.
Yeah. When you said your facility is what, 36,000 square feet?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm thinking COVID, whoa, I don't want to be paying for an empty 36,000 square feet.
Yeah. A lot of it's studio space. So, we were still shooting for most of it, but like I said, we had a lot of protocols in place, cleaning, people coming in every day and disinfecting, and just a lot of things to keep everyone safe.
Yeah. So I read today the Winklevoss twins say that Facebook and the like are going to be dead in a couple years.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be replaced with something else. Technology is moving really quickly.
What do you think about the fact that what is it that they're going to make some changes with the cookies? Is that going to impact you?
It was funny when that first came out. I talked to my analytics and IT folks. I'm like, oh my God, what is this going to do to us? But, we're just using pixels, and we still have ways to track things. And it's not as big a deal as I thought it would be. But boy, all the articles I read, I was like, oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to track anyone anymore. And how are we going to know who's responding? But
yeah, I think it's primarily third-party cookies that are going away right now. So I don't know that
the retargeting, but it's harder.
So how do you, what do you think the future holds in terms of marketing after COVID?
Yeah. So I think, it's funny, I've been saying this for a few years, and once again, COVID just kind of pushed everything forward and accelerated the process, but we're moving into a convergence of how people consume, their entertainment, news, and info. I feel like you're not necessarily going to say, well, I'm going to watch television now. It's okay. I'm going to, I'm going to watch this program, or I'm going to do this, or you might, my nephew comes over and he's watching TV on his cell phone. I don't have to now tune in at 8:00 tonight to watch this particular show. It's all about, I can watch you, not just me, everybody can watch anything, anytime they want. So it's the convergence of all these screens, and just being able, we not worried about, oh, I'm going online, or I'm going to this. It's just information everywhere. Information everywhere. I guess that's what it is. TV everywhere, information everywhere, news everywhere. And right now it feels like it has a bit of an identity crisis. When I go and look at my television, I'm like, okay, I have Hulu, I have Pluto, I have Disney Plus, I have Apple, I have all of these different things.
Yeah.
I think that's somehow somebody's gonna aggregate that to a degree, just like back when cable started and that got aggregated. It'll get aggregated. And I think, smart TVs are becoming so prevalent.
Yeah.
You might sit down on your TV and check your Facebook page, or sit down with your phone and watch something you and I would call a television program. Television, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just not going to matter where you engage. It's just that you're engaging. Makes it more difficult to kind of figure out how or where to reach the consumer. So,
well, I think that goes back to what we said, that the consumers are in charge, and so they are calling the shots. I saw that. Well, and I think we know too that a lot of the millennial type age and younger, they pulled the plug. They're not they've pulled the plug on cable. I belong to a group of about 4,000 people that just talk about all kinds of things,
Yeah.
and most of them are men, I will say, but and they have all of them talk about, the younger ones especially. They haven't had cable TV for a long time. They have smart TVs.
Hmm.
They use a variety of devices, and a lot of them do the Hulu stuff, and they have no intention of using of network TV. They don't watch a thing.
Right. But somehow they have to get news. And how are they? I I think that's why, we're doing new things now, like, influencer marketing.
Hmm.
So, you might be on Facebook or TikTok and you're watching a TikTok video and the guy's, doing something silly and drinking an energy drink of some kind. Well, that's, the old product integration, product placement that used to do in network shows.
Sure.
So it's still getting your product in front of people, but it's just having to figure out new and interesting ways to do it. And
Yeah, and and it's, as far as the news, how do they get their news? They get it on the internet. I mean, that's how they get it, if they get it at all. I mean, that age group, there's a lot of them that just, they don't care. I mean,
right.
news is not something that they're really interested in. There's a whole trust factor there. There's a who cares factor. I don't, and
Yeah.
I'm at the end of writing a book right now. It's actually for the Gen X and the Boomers, for the next wave, if you will, of what the next thing they're going to be doing. So. But in doing that, I had to do a lot of research that also included all age groups, and I found that with a lot of the fact, even in the Gen X and even into the Boomer age, which I am in. In this house, I would say, I don't think we've had, I've got all the network stuff. I'm plugged in, but guess what?
Yeah, we are too.
I've got a smart TV, and I haven't had a network show on TV in a long time.
So we're the same way. We have regular television, we have basic cable, but we also have, all of the Hulu and Prime TV and Apple Plus and all of those things. So, and I find myself like, what show are we going to watch? And we select a show and then we watch a couple episodes a night of it. And then when we're done, we select another show. So,
Yeah.
unless I know the president's addressing the country or something's happening, and I'll turn the news on. But otherwise,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's and I can remember when it was like, religiously you had to watch the 11 o'clock news.
yeah,
Now I'm asleep by 11 o'clock now, most of the time. So,
that's different. It's changed a lot.
and you mentioned the mobile thing. I see part of the research in this was the age, even the 30s and 40-year-olds, they would prefer to communicate mobily,
Mhm.
and texting is, they'd prefer that. So how do you get your message in front of them? I mean, that's
Well, that's when you're going with the social media, because they are on those social media platforms and they're on YouTube a lot as well. But I mean, if you've got young kids or young grandkids, they don't want to talk on the phone. They want to text you, and that's kind of annoying. But they're on all those things and they are watching television programs, right? But
right,
they're doing it on their phone.
right,
So you're still, when you're buying, programmatically, that's why I'm saying it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to buy, in a marketing program, you got to have OTT included in it. You've got to have digital included in it because of the different platforms. And it does depend on the age group, right?
hmm,
If it's a product or service that's targeting adults 65 plus, then
right,
your traditional methods are going to work a lot better. But if you're down in the millennials, or gosh, what's the one before that, considered Gen Z,
yeah,
then it's a little different. You're not, traditional linear television isn't going to be your prime focus.
no, yeah. I think it's an interesting challenge, and for someone who's in your business, which is one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, because I can't imagine right now having all those balls in the air and watching what's going on.
Yeah, you just have to approach everybody's product and service and their unique challenges individually. It's not like, oh, it's a personal care product for women 45 plus. Okay, here's exactly what we do. It's, you might have three of those, and you're going to do something different for all three because they've all got specific nuances and specific goals, or it's It's just because there's so many choices. The choices to get your news, information, and entertainment, they've just exploded.
Right.
And you got to test, right? Test.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. The magic
that's
word.
not changed.
The magic
That's never
word.
going to change.
Yeah, I used to tell clients that all the time. I still do. It's
Mhm.
still, no, we need to test this. Why do you, we know
Right.
what we want. Why do we have to test it again? Because we're going to test it 3 times. We're going to
Yeah.
try different audiences. Yeah. Oh, that'll cost me more.
Yeah.
Yeah. No test. Yeah. So the
That's
A/B
never
test.
going to change.
Yeah. Someone said that the influencer, the trend or something.
Influencer marketing.
Yeah, that's also waning. Do you see that happening or not?
No, I don't think it is at all. I think it's it, if they say that, it's because maybe they're not seeing as much on Facebook. So you went through this thing where you saw box openings were a big thing.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like the influencer market is still out there. It's just a little different. Like I said, I was on TikTok, and which can melt your mind, but I was on there for research, right? So I'm looking and I'm trying to figure out where the ads are. And then I'm realizing, well, the ads are actually within the little TikTok episodes, because this person, she's considered an influencer and she's using this product, or she's talking to her husband or making a joke and she's drinking some kind of branded soda, or so it's still there. It's just morphing into more, because people don't want to watch an ad. They want to be entertained, unless it's something that they really want. It's going to solve a problem for them, right? But the younger generation doesn't want to be bothered with that. So how are you going to get products in front of them? So I don't think it's waning at all. I think it's morphing again continually
Right.
to be less like what we would consider a traditional advertisement.
So I know I do it, and I think that even these millennials or Gen X, Gen Z, whatever, they all do it. I think you go to and you Google it when you want to buy something.
Yeah.
It's the first thing that happens, I think, right? It's still that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why PPC is such a big part of every marketing mix. Even if you're buying television, anything, because people see a TV ad and people are watching television with their phone in their lap or their iPad or their laptop. So they're like, oh, I see that. And they go right on. And if they didn't catch the URL, they Google it. So, your part of your marketing mix is to buy branded PPC and non-branded PPC. So when they Google it, you pop right to the top.
Yeah. What about Clubhouse? You playing in there at all? Is there anything that would have to be an influencer kind of thing, right?
No, I don't know that one. Clubhouse?
Basically, it's a closed group. It's drop-in audio chat is what it basically is. It's a new social network.
Oh.
It's all based on where people come together and just talk. There's no recordings, but you have a lot of influencers in there. So what's happened is you have people that, for instance, there's a good friend of mine who's a top professional photographer, and he, you have to kind of be invited into Clubhouse. So you can apply and then you get invited, to join. So I got an invitation from him because he was already in. So I was like, oh, wow, what are you doing in there? Because I was just going to go in and poke around. So he goes and he has a group of, because he also teaches photography. That's a big part of his business. So he goes in there and talks about teaching photography and some new technique or whatever, and they just talk. I think the jury's out. Some people are really pushing it hard, and they think it's going to be the next big thing.
I have to check on it. Do they have parameters about what you can do or say? So in other words, if he was an influencer and he was, had a specific camera brand and he was like trying to push that in an influencer way, as opposed to, would they shut it down?
I don't know. Because I just don't know enough about it myself. I know it's you enter it as you're an audience member, if you will, and if you want to talk, you raise your hand. It's an app. So
I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah.
Do I have to be invited? Do you have to invite me?
I can invite you. Yeah, I think I can do that.
I know I immediately want to Google it.
Yeah.
But as I'm a Gen Xer and I Google all the time because it's the first thing I want to do. Well, when I was younger, I wish we had Google. No, I had a stack of encyclopedias on the bookshelf that I had to look at when I wanted to look something up or do how to do a paper or anything. Wouldn't a Google have been great when you were younger?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, a lot of things, the whole social media stuff, things we did by the hard way,
Yeah.
I jokingly said to you earlier that I still have my Rolodex,
I have mine too. So
that
up on a
yeah.
shelf. Yeah, but no, I mean, do kids go to libraries
Uh,
anymore?
yeah, they
I don't
do.
think
Because there's a library near me. I have, though, again, they closed down, so I haven't been there in a while, but I started going there quite a bit. And I did notice that there were young kids in there. So
so.
up to a certain age. Now, I'd say after the age of about 10, they disappeared. And
Yeah,
then you would have some college age and then adults. So there was a big gap. Yeah, there was a big gap in there.
sure. Because they don't need to go in there to do research for stuff because they can do it
Sure,
online.
all that is important.
Even paper books. I have a Kindle. Like I like to read, but I have everything on my Kindle.
I guess a Kindle is interesting. I have one, and when
Hmm.
I was kind of laid up for a long time, it was handy, so I could
Yeah.
download.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
download
I
whatever
did
you
that.
want. It's
Yeah, I did
great.
that and read a lot. But I still like paper books, and behind me here is a whole
Yeah.
wall of books back there, and I had to clear them out a couple of years ago. I guess it's been we lost a year, so it's always I say a year ago. It's always 2 years ago.
Yeah. It's always
Yeah,
2 years ago at this
yeah,
point. Nothing happened
yeah,
last
yeah,
year unless it was in your living
yeah,
room. I think I'm on Kindle number 4 because I was, when we were traveling all the time for business, I kept leaving them on airplanes because they're
yeah.
tiny.
My brother's done that too. He spends a lot of time they're used to on airplanes, and he was always losing his Kindle or his phone. He would
Hmm.
lose the phone too. So just one last thing on Clubhouse too. The thing I would, because I'm trying to think, you have social media texting. So we were talking about texting. So this is sort of like texting, but there's no texting. It's audio. So it's a little more, little warmer, I guess, a little more human in a way. There's no cameras involved, and they don't record anything. It happens and it's gone. I think that part of it appeals to some people from an advertising standpoint.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to look it up. You have to invite me because I want to check it out. And that's the thing, right? So all of these platforms are going to keep popping up. And are they going to is social media going to be what cable was to broadcast eventually? Broadcast was what it sounds like. It was broadcast, and you had different shows at different times, and then cable came out. Oh, CNN's news, and then the History Channel was history things, and those specific verticals. Social media maybe is going to, and I'm speculating, of course, but potentially split into those different segments as well, or those different verticals. It would make sense. And then I think targeting would hopefully be a little easier for us, right? I mean, we're already saying if we want to hit, adults 50 plus or 45 plus, we're focusing more on Facebook. If we want to hit, younger, it's Instagram, and then younger yet, it's TikTok. So it's already doing that to a degree, and I'm wondering how much it will segment. Maybe you will get specific verticals. Maybe there'll be a gardening one, and there'll be one for people that like to boat. I don't know.
That is kind of happening within Facebook, in the Facebook groups, the private groups. There's I don't know how many
Mhm.
there are, but I bet millions. I could Google it and tell you.
Right. Sure. But they may break off onto their,
Yeah,
onto their own.
and I think some of them have. I think without a doubt
Hmm.
that has happened. I belong to a number of them, and here I'm going to tell you the truth. We have one. I'm not going to name it, but it's we only created it. It was only created because we had to have a group of some sort, and we couldn't find another place. Everyone that created it hates Facebook. We don't like Facebook. We don't like having to
Yeah.
be on there for what we're doing, and we don't like the
Right.
policies.
That's
There's a
why
whole
things
lot of
split
things we don't
off,
like about
right?
Facebook. But guess Yep, exactly. That's what I was going to say. So if we had found a better way, or had a better way, or could have created a better way that was also, monetarily, doable,
Yeah.
we would have done it. I mean, you still have a lot of forums out there that were created, before social media, and they're still in
Hmm.
operation with thousands of members. So they never did buy into the whole social media thing.
Yeah. Didn't AOL used to have a bunch of different forums, didn't they?
Yeah, that was the first. Yeah. In fact, I was talking to someone and they were trying to remember what it was called. That thing, that early, and they were like, I'm like, what, AOL? I'm like, yeah, that
Yeah.
was it.
Yeah, remember when you would get onto the computer and it would dial up and you'd sit there and wait?
You've got mail, you know.
Imagine.
Yeah.
You've got mail. And that
Not
really,
that
how long
long.
ago was that? I guess it was,
Yeah.
okay, I guess it was 30 years or
25,
25.
30,
I
yeah.
guess it was 30 years. So I don't know if things are happening more quickly or time's moving more quickly for me. I'm not sure.
Maybe both. So what's the future hold for Blue Water and for Gina?
Well, for Bluewater, we are, as you know, I said we have all of these services that we've developed out. Hopefully, we'll continue to grow. Can't think of any new services that we'll be providing anytime soon, but my thought is with the way the world is changing, right? That we are, interactive marketing is not something new. It's something that we've always done. And we're really here and poised to help all of these, past traditional marketers try to get into that direct to consumer marketing path, get down it, because if you think about it, they're really all in the infancy stage. They have never done it that way. They have been we're just, you'll see us on the shelves and we don't have to worry about that. We'll worry about point of purchase.
Right.
So I think that what I'm hoping is that we're going to be working with more of those big brands than we already do, and helping them navigate that direct to consumer landscape. So learn it and navigate it as it continues to change. So I think that is the future for us. Or I should say that the now and the future. And I used to say digital's the future, but the digital's here and now, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and we're really well poised for that as well, because as you know, as you have all these multiple screens, it's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, we used to worry about making sure you had continuity in messaging with your television and direct mail. Well, think about it now. We have to have continuity in messaging across all of these different screens and all of these different things. And the way that you produce content for each of these different platforms is different. So, which is why we have at Bluewater, we have a completely different content team. So, we may go into production and produce the television commercial, but then the way, the different things that we shoot and the way it's edited and put together in post for, TikTok is going to be different than what we do for Facebook and Instagram and programmatic. So it's really important to have those two different teams.
Yeah. Fascinating. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like technology.
Yeah.
Some days.
Some days,
Not all
yeah.
days.
Yeah.
And what about you? Besides, I should say here, besides fronting your rock band.
Yeah, which keeps me busy. We love to boat. We love our dogs. We love living in Florida. We're both Philadelphia natives, or I should say the suburbs of Philadelphia. And we've been down here going on 6 years, and it was just an amazing life change. Being able to live on the water and have a boat and have a much more outdoorsy lifestyle.
Right.
So it's been a great change, and we love it. So,
well, tell me about the band. Come on.
So the band's name is Bad Neighbors.
Bad Neighbors. I love it.
Yeah, we it's my husband on lead guitar. We have actually two guitar players and some other folks from the neighborhood on bass and drums. And we do a lot of rock and roll from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. So cover bands at bars in the area, beach bars. We write music, so we do a few originals. But yeah, it's fun. It's the fun part of my life these days.
That sounds great. That does sound fun.
Yeah, it's an excellent hobby. And I love to be in front of a group of people. I never get nervous. I love to take charge of a room and have people dancing and singing. It's fun, singing along.
It's a great feeling, huh?
It really is. It really is. And it's really like a 180 from what I do during the day, right? So
yeah, I love it.
Get all that Gina out.
I love it. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I've enjoyed our conversation. You take care, and we'll talk again soon.